about. All right, guys. Hey, today's guest is the kind of man who provides proves that greatness isn't always built under big lights, right? It's something that can be built with a machine shop on the jiu-jitsu mats around a dinner table and the quiet moments with God. Brandon Bailey is a facility supervisor, jiu-jitsu coach, practitioner, husband, father, and the host of Rolling in Faith. Today, we're going to talk about faith, family, leadership, purpose, and what it really means to become a man of God, as a man that God has called to be. Brandon, welcome to the Cauliflower Chronicles.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. I'm stoked to be here. This is super fun. It's always good to just kind of sit down and talk and have a good conversation about, faith, family, jiu-jitsu, all that good stuff. So again, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on. So I asked the same guest everything, right? So before we get into your career, we get into the podcast, we get into your faith journey. I want to ask you a question, right? I ask every guest, who is Brandon Bailey?
Man, that's a really good question. I would have to say, Brandon Bailey he's a man of faith. He likes to lead from the front. He wants to encourage and help people find their true potential, whatever that looks like, and just trying to be a little bit better every day, right? Like that's kind of my goal. Just leave this world a little bit better than I found it. I'm not perfect. I have my falls. I have my pitfalls. I've got my vices. I have all those things. But at the end of the day, like Brandon is someone who believes in other people, believes in himself, and just really wants to try to help them reach their full potential.
That's all. It's funny you say that. You just want to leave the world a better place. It's kind of been like everybody I've had on had that same mantra, right? I had it too. I was talking about in my first episode is like, I just want to make the world, leave it better than what it was for me, right? Even if I haven't been the best person in the world, like, can I teach and educate people to be better than I am, right? Yeah. Or show somebody a way to be better, So what does a perfect day with your family look like for you?
Man, a perfect day for me is, I guess example will be today, Thank you for pushing our timeline a little bit today.
Of course.
We met some friends and we went to Wild Waves, and I got to see the kids play and have fun and be in the water and do all that. So for me, it's like family first, right? Like my perfect day is just hanging out with my family, being with my family, being present with my family. Because honestly, for a lot of years I wasn't, and it wasn't because of anything wild. It was just because of work. I worked graveyard for 10, 11 years of my career, so it made it super hard. It made it super hard to just be present. I mean, I could come home, get a couple hours of sleep, and then wake up and kind of be there, but not really, but kind of thinking like, hey, when's the next time I'm going to go get a nap? Because I still got to work tonight, So just being present with my family is a perfect day for me. And then, I love that our girls are in jiu-jitsu. And so it's kind of like a family thing that we do.
Yeah.
So a little bit of family time in the afternoon, morning, and then some jiu-jitsu at night for sure.
Yeah, I think it's something I struggle with too still. And like, I'm just so indoctrinated. 21 years in the military, man. I've been just all over the place. And in the military's mindset is like, Army first. I'm in the Army. So it's like Army first, right? Army is like life. And I think the first 15 years I was in, man, is like, I drowned myself in it. It cost me a divorce, man. I got divorced, man. I was married for a long time, got divorced, and then remarried currently, and my wife. And I think I learned lessons before that, right? Like I learned that I need to be present for my family. Yeah. I still struggle with that, right? I think we all do, especially in a job, and especially at like an A type personalities, right? Like people who want to succeed or be good at things, tend to let things fall to the wayside that they don't realize are more important.
For sure.
I think the last 5 years of what I've seen is when the Army's gone, my family's still going to be there.
Yeah.
So I need to put more time into my family instead of into the Army.
Yeah.
So I like how you said that. Like you said, a perfect day, it's like great spending time.
Yeah. It's like, there's no more rewarding thing than just seeing like the smiles of your kids when you show up and show up unexpectedly or show up when you're supposed to, it's just like, I worked really hard at my career for the first 10, 15 years of it. Like that's just, I was like, I got to provide. I got to make this work. I got to find a way. If I have to work graveyard, I'm working graveyard, and now I'm in a position where I've learned through the school of hard knocks to where I can kind of take a step back and be like, no, man, like that email can wait. That response to that email can wait. Like I don't have to respond right now. I don't have to pick up that phone call. I don't have to answer that text message. Like I need to be present for my family right now because, and I tell a lot of people this too, as parents, I don't think we realize how short amount of time that we have with our kids. They say you have 18 summers with your kids. Well, I don't want 18 summers with my kids. I want infinite summers with my kids, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we're privileged enough to where, my wife can stay at home and homeschool and things like that. So I get a lot of extra time with them. And at first I kind of took it for granted. Now it's like, man, what a blessing this is. What a blessing this is that I can like really lock in now in these formidable years of these kids' lives and really dial in and be present. Because, as a father to two young daughters, like I'm setting the example for the man that they're going to be looking for. And if I'm not present, if I'm not involved, if I'm not engaged with them, that's a problem, right? Like that's a problem. So I really had to try really hard to shift my mindset because I love being good at my job. I love being the guy that people come to with a problem. I love being the guy that come to being like, hey, this is happening. What should we do? I love being that. But at the same time, I had to figure out how to draw a line of like, no, my family comes.
That's crazy. It's like, that's kind of like where I'm at. And I think I'm just doing it a little later in my career than you did, which I wish I'd found earlier, but I have 2 daughters and a son. And my daughter is 19. Getting ready 20 this year. I have a 17-year-old getting ready to be 18 this year. Sure. And man, that time's flew. Unfortunately, I went through hard times and stuff like that, so I wasn't able to be there for a good part of their life. But I do miss it, man. And like, it's hard to look back and say, man, I try to talk to them and I try to build that relationship back and show them like, hey, the point you bring up is like, you want to be the example of the man that you want your daughter to be with, right? Mm-hmm. Or be married to her. So like, I think that's super important. And I try to show my daughters that, even though I'm not there every day with them because they don't live here, but like, through whatever it is, they can see like, hey, dad's successful, dad cares, dad, is going to be a hard worker, educated man, things like that. So
for sure,
which is unique to where I grew up, and how I grew up. It was just like, my dad was the hardest working guy I ever met in my entire life, but he was not educated and he was always working. Yeah. But man, that dude worked. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, similar, I guess I just kind of got that work ethic from growing up, you just work 10, 12, 14 hours. Doesn't matter. You work.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, like in today's world with everything going on with AI, with all the technology and stuff, like I feel like we're kind of losing that a little bit. There's always going to be a lot of good work to be done in trades, and it's kind of sad to see that trades aren't a focus because something's going to break. Someone's going to be able to fix that, So I've kind of always built myself around that. So in that hard work, though, I think it's easy to get lost in the fact that like you kind of put the family aside because you're so focused on like providing for them.
Yeah, 100%. And like as I think men like normally just say, hey, I'm a provider, right? Yeah. By the source of like, I mean, if you go back to where we, evolved from, we're all been providers. We've always been providers. Stories always said provide. Like man provides, fire. Man provides food. Man provides, and then the women have naturally always been like nurturing at home, right? Yeah. They're providing that nurturing side. So for us, they just go work 24/7 is natural.
Yeah. Supernatural.
It's like it doesn't even, it's easy to do.
I think that's why we like to do hard things like jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. 100%.
We just love it. It's and I think too, like I heard a TED talk or just like a small motivational thing, and it was a really good thing because they equated it to golf. Like I used to golf a ton before I found jiu-jitsu and had kids and all that good stuff. But what he was talking about was like golf is like one of the ultimate man sports because there's always a problem to solve.
That makes sense.
There's always a problem to solve. How do I hit this ball? Where should I put it? What club should I use? I'm usually off in the trees. So it's like, how do I get around this tree? And I think that's why like we as men love to solve problems.
Yeah.
And sometimes that gets us into trouble. Right?
Oh yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast for a different day, probably.
I mean, this entire podcast has been me solving a problem, trying to figure out what I'm going to do next.
Yeah. So I think that's why I speak from a man's perspective, but I'm also saying why people in general are drawn to jiu-jitsu is because it's a problem to solve.
Oh, it's a puzzle.
It's a constant puzzle to solve. It's a constant problem. There's problems happening all the time. Yeah. And you have to trying to figure that out consistently and constantly in your round, in your drive home, like whatever it looks like for you, like you're solving those problems, and it's so cool to just have that ability to be able to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm coming to the end of my career, thank God. It's been a long time, and I'm tired. I'm ready to transition to something else. But I think this transition, I put a lot of thought into like how I'm going to spend time with my family, right? And we get to go back home soon into our house, and then like my son will be grassrooted somewhere from 8th grade or 6th grade until he graduates high school, which is going to be phenomenal. I haven't been able to do that at all in 21 years, and then I will be retiring while he is entering high school, which I think is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. You're gonna be able to be there for him because like those are some pretty tough years, especially as a man, right?
Oh yeah,
especially as a man, like those are some tough years to be in high school and trying to drive all that and to figure all that out, you know. So that's super cool that you have the opportunity to be there. Where is back home?
Florida. So originally Maryland's home, but we're not going back to Maryland. We're gonna Florida. We own a house right outside Tampa. Okay. Lakeland is the area, but Eagle Lake is the exact town. But yeah,
you got a lot of family and friends there.
Family's out there. We got a lot of friends there. We get kind of like a adopted family type thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Wild tree. Trying to figure out problems as a man. I ended up getting sent overseas to live for a year, and I couldn't take my family with me, so that kind of sucked. But we were trying to figure out where my wife was going to live and my son, right? And we went to Florida on vacation to see family, and spur of the moment, we were building a house in Texas, and some COVID stuff happened, couldn't get the stuff. Yeah. And at spur of the moment, my wife's at breakfast. She's like, I see this house I like. Let's just go look at it. 4 hours later, dude, I owned a house in Florida. It was crazy. It was wild. It's like, wild. I don't even know how it happened. Yeah. Like the house was being built. I didn't even see it. And then we get to the house, and like, long story short, I get in the house, and 72 hours later, I fly to Korea. So I actually have only lived when I moved now back to Florida, I've actually only lived in this house sporadically over the last 4 years.
That's
like
wild.
I would, when I came back from Korea, I was in Georgia, my wife's in Florida. I would go home on weekends. So like I lived in my house 72 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get back to our house, our place with our family and do those things that I haven't been able to do.
You're wild, dude. Are you a fan of Florida? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The heat, the humidity, the nasty, like.
I could live in an oven.
But I mean, you also, I suppose too, you know, guys have AC and all that good stuff.
Yeah. But I
a little less miserable than here for people that don't.
No, 100%. The thing that is crazy about Florida is when you go at nighttime, right? As a lot of people always talk about, it's so hot during the day. No, it is. Absolutely. It's a freaking furnace. Like it's hot. But at nighttime is the best time. It's like 75. You can see a clear sky, palm trees. Like, oh man, it's my favorite, dude. But yeah, it's hot. I love heat.
You're a better man than me. That's a big reason why I left Minnesota, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love the heat. I love South. I love heat. I love snow, though. I love snow at Christmas. I like the cold at Christmas. I'm a seasonal guy, even though I'm going to a state with no seasons.
I was going to say, you're about to go to a state with no seasons. Well, you live in a state with no seasons right now, but that's even more no seasons. Yeah. It's just summer all the time.
Summer all the time. Oh, Christmas is interesting there. It's just hot.
Yeah, just hot.
Putting some lights on a palm tree.
That's some of the wildest things I've seen, lights on palm trees.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So let's talk about your faith, right? I mean, because you talk a lot about your faith. You talk a lot about, you know, your relationship with God. And I mean, honest with you, I talked about this, I think Henry, when I talked to Henry about this, right? I'm not somebody who has said like, oh, I have my relationship with God. Like, I don't know. I just haven't been there yet, right? Maybe in the future I'll figure this out, but I do believe, right? I do believe 100%. I just don't, I haven't been that person that goes to church every Sunday and then been like, hey, I have a relationship, right? Maybe one day. But so you describe yourself, right, as a faithful servant to God. Yeah. What does that actually look like on an ordinary Tuesday?
Yeah, you know, that's again a good question. You know, I think the best way to describe it is just I'm just trying to be a better person, right? I'm just trying to be that light that God's given us. And so I'm not perfect at it. Let me give you full disclaimer. I am not perfect at it at all. Like I have my pitfalls for sure, you know. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, a normal Tuesday is just being, I think the best way to sum it up is just be patient.
Yeah.
I think patience and showing love, especially showing love in moments when anger is easy, right? Because anger is a very easy expression because that's kind of how we're wired. We're wired to react. We're wired to kind of like jump off the handle. Showing someone patience and love is a lot harder. And being a Christian is hard. You know, doing jiu-jitsu is hard.
Yeah.
You know, so as a man of faith, I really just try to emulate the way Jesus lived, you know, acting with patience, responding with questions, responding with just trying to understand the situation a little bit better before I have a reaction. And so I think that as I go through a day, like problem solving, right? Like just like, this is so simple. Why can you not figure this out? Rather than saying that, I think, how can I help this person? How can I help them get to the next level or help them understand like the goal? So I think, you know, being a man of faith, like you just really just have to understand that idea of patience.
Yeah.
Which I think is really difficult for people, especially in the world we live in where everything is just right here, right? Like everything we do is at our fingertips.
Oh yeah.
And it's instant gratification, instant. And a lot of people don't understand that God's plan and the way he has it laid out isn't necessarily instant. So I would say like on just a normal Tuesday is just being a nice person, just being someone who people can kind of be like, hey, that guy's a little different. Why is he so different? Why is he so patient with me? Why is he so engaged in what I'm doing? Why is he so inquisitive about what I have? You know, because I do feel like God has given everybody a talent. He's given everyone a calling, and it's just figuring out what that is to be able to be successful in life, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that. I almost feel like I kind of feel like I do that with my work already. Like lately in the last couple of years, like what I've done more in my job instead of like being such somebody who holds everybody to make them like normally in my job, everybody wants to. I'm the first earn rate, so I'm in charge of roughly 160 people. And my job is to make sure that they don't do things wrong. Yeah. Is what they always preach to me, right? What they don't do wrong. But I think I've taken that and said, and I do wrong. How do I make everybody better?
Yeah.
And what can I do to help you be better? Because I don't think being better is like, was it jiu-jitsu, for example, right? Sometimes we are in jiu-jitsu, it's like, how do you get better at jiu-jitsu? And it's like, oh, practice the moves. Well, sometimes practicing the moves isn't exactly what makes you better. Sometimes it's like, oh man, I need a mindset change. Or hey man, I need somebody just to talk me out of this like butterfly feeling I'm about to get because I got to fight these other dudes.
Yeah.
But so I think that with my job now, I've been looking at like, what's your family dynamic look like, or what do you need to be happy every day you come to work so you can be better?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it too. Is like we work to make our mortgage payments, car payments, all those things, but it's like at the end of the day, you want to kind of be happy to go to work.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of want to have some happiness to go to work. Yeah. You don't want to be there forever, but there should be some reason why you do what you do. People say, oh, do what you love. Okay, great. If I could do that, like I'll be living in a box under the bridge. I could be happy there.
Yeah.
You know, but I think just trying to be a little bit better every day and, you know, trying to help other people be every day. Like my leadership style is very much, you know, servant based.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from my faith. It comes from my faith of like, I know that there's a higher calling for me. I know that there is something bigger for me. I know that, you know, God has bigger plans for me than I could ever imagine. And he's putting, I think maybe this is a good way to put it. God puts people in your life, good or bad, for a specific reason.
Yeah.
Whether that reason is to build them up, whether that reason is to correct them, you know, you could fill in the blank.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know there's a higher calling. I know there is. And so I think approaching every day, kind of having that mentality really, you know, plays to what you're trying to do with your team. And it just kind of, again, it kind of loops back to that, just trying to make the world a better place than what we found it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's funny you say your servant like leadership style because, and don't quote, I'm not sure what Latin, I think it's Latin. We always say Latin in the military, but sergeant, right? I want to say it's a Latin for servant. Right. And like we're called sergeants. So like when you become a leader in the Army, you're a sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, first sergeant, master sergeant, you know, command sergeant major. So you're always a sergeant, you're a servant. And then we talk about servant leadership all the time. And then it's like, you got to figure that out. Right. But that's what we talk about, servant leadership. But I don't believe everybody does servant leadership.
Yeah. I think servant leadership is really hard, especially, you know, if you're trying to build your career, if you're trying to build your, man, I don't want to say ego, but yeah, I'll say ego. If you're trying to be the best, being a servant is really hard because you don't see it that way, you know. And it was funny. I read a book by I think Simon Sinek, and it was called Leaders Eat Last.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've actually read some of that book.
It was. I read that when I had just taken on a crew of like 26 guys.
Yeah,
I didn't know nothing. I was like volunteering to take this. Take this role, you know, and I was like, I don't know how to, like, I've always just kind of done what I did.
Yeah.
I don't know how to lead people. I don't know what I'm doing. So I read this book and I think one of the things that struck me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he said basically the officers in the military, they eat last.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's how it's always,
yeah. Yeah. So, and I really was like, that's amazing. That is like that out of the whole book. There's a couple other things that stuck with me, but that mentality really like hit. I was like, man, the officers eat last. Because like in my head, I thought, oh, well, you're an officer. Hierarchy, you get to go first.
You get to go first, yeah.
You know, you've done your time, you've been promoted, you've done the thing, so you get to go first. So reading that and understanding that, I was like, my job is to like make sure these guys have everything they need to be successful at their job.
Yeah,
that's my job as a leader.
And in the military, we say that, right? And it's like fuel is that, right? Food, fuel, water, anything you need, like we have to do that. So 100%, yeah. And like my counterpart's an officer in the Army, and we're kind of equals. Not in rank, he is the boss. He said what he says goes, but I am his advisor, right? I'm his number one senior advisor next to him. So like I have the experience, he has the power, right? That's what we say. Yeah. And we mix it. But yeah, me and him, like we never eat first. If we were out doing anything, like literally we don't. If food comes and we're doing something with the soldiers and we get in the food's out there, they eat first. Everybody eats first but us. But yeah, that is it's real. Yeah,
that's so cool. I love that. And I guess I just naturally by attrition just kind of do that in my own life, like in my personal life. And you know, I just.
Oh, I do it too. I do it like
you're at a party or at a big dinner or someone and someone's like, all right, food's up. I just kind of look around. Like,
me too. Yeah. I'm like looking, I'm like.
Women and children first. You all go eat.
I know people and friends that are just like, oh, if you ain't going, I'm going. You know, I could never do that. I feel like everybody look at me and be like, look at this guy.
Yeah. I'm not the first at the table. That's for sure.
No, I mean, I do the same thing with my family too. And sometimes they're like, would you just sit down? Like they sit down, they eat. I get everything for them. Even when my wife cooks, you know, she cooks, I cook, we take turns, but like, I'll go get everything or try. It's like
100%.
But then she's like, "Can you just sit down?" Like, okay, I don't know how to do that.
My wife's always like, "I'm going to pin you to the couch, or the chair, knock it off." It's like, well, I know, but
I pace around this house doing things. Yeah, my wife's like, "Do you know how to relax?" I'm like, I am relaxing. Yeah, just as easy.
Yeah, it's like, no, these dishes need to be done. You cooked, I got it. It's all good. Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy. It's funny. We think it's unique, and I'm excited about this conversation because. You are not in the military. I am, and I'm been in the Army for so long. Like I don't know what it's like to be a civilian anymore. Sure. I don't know what it's like to be in the civilian force. Like I honestly don't know what it's like to even like. It takes the entire world to stop spinning for me to get fired. I mean, I continue to do well and get promoted. Yeah. Like I don't, you know, the Army is very easy, and it's easy in the matter of like. As long as you can make yourself better, you're going to do good in the Army. Right. Like they want you to go to college. They want you to like work out and be fit. They want you to be healthy. So you have to do all these things that are benefiting you anyway. And to do that for 21 years, like I don't know what it's like to not be an organization that push that rate. So it's to just have your mindset as somebody who's in charge, a leader in your organization that's not military. And me, it's just it's unique and I like it.
Yeah, it's fun too because like trying to think of the best way to put this. I need a laser and a flow chart to make it all work. But the best way to put it is my biological dad was in the Air Force for 20 years.
Okay.
So I wasn't an Army, you know, I was an Air Force brat. I didn't jump from base to base. I connect with him until I was, 16. But I've been around the military.
Yeah.
I've been exposed to it in a very small sense. Not to say that I understand or I know what you guys go through, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
In a fact of like, it's probably hard to make that transition and my sister, she is currently in the Air Force. And I know that she's very much a person of like structure.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what it is, right? Like it's that structure that you're so used to reporting to every day. And you're coming up to where that structure is not going to be there. No. And it's got to be a little bit, maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but it's got to be a little bit scary.
Oh, it's
maybe not scary, but like a little bit like, man, that's kind of on the front of my mind of like, what am I going to do without this structure in my life? And then how am I going to make my mentality kind of shift to where I don't have to report for, uniform check. I don't have to report for this, that, or the other. Like, so that structure is about to kind of fall off. So I feel like
it's scary.
There's a little bit of angst there, a little bit of anxiousness, a little bit of anxiety of like, how am I going to fill my time now that this is gone?
100%, dude. I mentally feel it. I think about it daily. I'm about to go through a lot of changes in my life. Like I've been in a leadership position because you can do the rank that I'm at. So I'm at E8 in the Army. There's 9 enlisted ranks. I'm at E8, right? So I can only promote one more rank and I'll be the highest rank in the Army, not the highest position, because once you get to that rank, there's many positions. Okay. I'm just the highest rank, but I'm not going to take the promotion. Everybody knows that out there. It's not a surprise. There's a lot of people that want me to take it. I'm not going to take it because back to what we're talking about in the beginning of this podcast is I've made that decision as a man that my family is going to be first now.
Right.
So, but I've been in a leadership position now and I feel like I'm pregnant, but 37 months straight.
Yeah. How's that been?
Oh gosh, man, it has been rewarding.
Yeah.
It has been stressful. It has been loving. It has been the worst and best thing I've ever done in my life. I have gone through everything. I've gotten some of the best friends I've ever had. I've watched some of my best friends lose their children in a very bad situation, and been there for it, been to the funerals. I've been beside their, cried with people, not cried with people. I've been there on their best days, their worst days. I've celebrated with them, and I've seen some tremendous moments, but I've been doing it for 37 months straight, which is astronomically longer than most people do in the Army. When they want to set you up to be like bigger leaders in the Army, take over bigger organizations, they like to leave you in, I call it cooking them off. So they cook us there to see how long we can, to see how we're doing performing over time so that eventually we get these really big jobs.
Sure.
But I'm about to come out of that role. Yeah. So come this October, I'll take my diamond off. So my rank has a diamond in it. So I'll take the diamond off, and if we call it taking the diamond off, I'll take the diamond off for the first time. At that point, it'd be 40 months.
Okay.
So I don't know what I'm going to do. I've never not been a first sergeant at this rank. Okay. I went straight from doing operational stuff to right to being a leader, and I've done that constantly. Even when I moved to here, right? When I moved here a year ago, I went from being a first sergeant straight to being a first sergeant.
Sure.
Never changed. I even actually came in while I was on vacation just to do the ceremony to take over the company, and then went back. Yeah. So that's change one, right? It's like, crap, I'm going to go from really being able to impact and change people's life to I won't have any, I have my motivation, power, and what I do will change in a different direction. But that's change one that's coming. And then 2 years later, it changes. I'm retiring. Right. So then the structure's gone.
Man, that's wild.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to retirement. I'll probably always work. I'll probably always do something, but retirement scares me a little bit. It's like, all right, well, I don't have to report to my job anymore. What am I going to do for the day? But I'm just a worker. I love to work. Love to do things. I love to help people. Yeah. So, I'm sure I'll find something, but I'm sure you will too.
I'm going to find something.
Yeah. Even if it's working at a gun shop for, 2-3 days a week on your terms,
I'm trying to, I'm naturally I'm working on my master's degree now. I get my MBA, my master's in business administration. I'll finish in November. The idea is to do a couple certifications between now and time I retire, because the Army won't pay for your PhD.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to try to go into a PhD program, to a doctoral program, and because I think I'm going to try to be a college professor. I think that's where I'm going to go and teach business. I love business. So I'm going to try to teach business. My degrees are in business, and my associates, my bachelor's, and my master's are all business. And then I want to go in and try to teach college kids business. I think it'll be fun. And I think it'd kind of still give me the sense of helping.
Can I just ask, what intrigues you about business? What drives you to want to know about business?
Success.
Success monetarily or just professionally?
Professional success.
Okay.
The money doesn't even really excite me. I really want to see, I love to see an idea come to fruition, and I love to see that, I just love to see that grow. I love to see where that can go, and I love to see what that changes, how that changes life, people, ideas, everything. I think those things are phenomenal. I think it's a beautiful thing to watch. Yeah. And I think that's what got me into it, is I can take something an idea, or whatever that idea is, if it's I'm creating something, I'm writing something, I'm producing something, right? And then how do I make that become something that benefits the world? Yeah. No, that's super cool. And build it through business.
Yeah, that's super cool. Honestly, my oldest daughter is super she has that entrepreneurial spirit. She's always making these little crafts and these little things and baking cookies or doing all those things. And so I think that mindset and that I can try to do this on my own kind of thing is super cool. Personally, I'm terrified of it. I could never work for myself. I've always wanted to work for myself, but the stress of it would drain me. It would kill me.
I think I want to do, I'll probably start a jiu-jitsu school. Yeah. I think that eventually will happen. And I think I will enjoy that, but I'm kind of worried about that too. And that's just because jiu-jitsu is something that's been my therapy for 26 years now. Sure. And so I don't want to ruin that. I don't want my therapy to become a job. Yeah. But if it happens and it's something that just is meant to be, it will. Yeah. But what I really love is I've done a couple things in my life where they've just been an idea. Yeah. And then they just come to this thing that has just become astronomically amazing. Fight night I just did.
Fight night. Yeah, that was super cool. I saw the post. I wasn't there, but I saw the stuff on social.
I mean, the behind the scenes of that was there was 5 dudes in a room.
Yeah.
Back in January.
Okay.
I got called by somebody who is my boss's boss's boss, like big boss. And he called and said, "Hey man, you come in. I got to ask you a question." Because I had done this before. I've like put fights together for the military before, but not at the level he was asking.
Okay.
And so he came and he goes, "Hey, I got this idea.
Yeah.
I want to do this for all the families and the soldiers, everything of all JBLM. Do you think you could put this on?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And he's like, "Okay, this is what I'm looking at." He's like, "I'm thinking fights inside of the stadium. What else can we do?" I said, "Well, let's make it a base thing we can do." And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "But I can't help you." That's exactly what he told me. I was like, "What do you mean you can't help me?" He's like, "I'm so busy," because he's a super busy man, right? He's like, "I'm so busy," because he travels all over the world. Literally, he's in charge of like the entire Indo-PACOM of the world. So like between like Australia over to like Colorado, down to Mexico, up clean to like Antarctica. Like this dude's in charge of all these people. So astronomical, right? So, I mean, 3 weeks a month he's gone. And he's like, "I can't give you any backing. You can't," like, he's like, I need you, if you can put this together and make it happen successful." I'm like, awesome. So I'm like alone and unafraid trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
In a world of people who don't have to say yes to me, don't have to give me money. And I don't have any of these resources. So I have no money. I have no backing.
Sounds like a business startup to me.
Yeah, 100%, right? So I take this idea in February.
Yeah.
We fast forward to June. I figure out how to get fighters. Yeah. I do a fight. We do a combine. Many people help me along the way. Absolutely. Everybody, you all have credit. I love all of you. Like, so many people helped me along the way, right? That just had buy-in because of the idea.
Sure.
And so we go through this, and, the night of execution shows up and we're all like, "Man, what's going to happen?" Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have a 17-foot by 17-foot screen. I have a live DJ. I got full camera crews. I got people with like Bluetooth cameras following people out of the tunnels. I mean, it's like a UFC event at this point. Yeah. And we're like, what if nobody shows up?
Yeah. That's always the fear, right? What if nobody shows up?
There's like 5 of us and we just put all this stuff in there. And then I convinced somebody to I convinced an organization to like basically sponsor us and buy the championship belts for 8 fights. So they spent $4,000 just buying me belts off of a whim, right? And man, I was like, I was so nervous. And people started trickling in. I'm like, man, people are showing up early. Oh my God, people are showing up. So now, mind you, the stadium holds 3,300 people by fire capacity, like because the fire code I had to do also fire, right? Yep. I think the final count when we all stopped was like 4,200 people showed up to this thing.
Killed it.
Dude, blew it out of the water. I absolutely killed it. I still don't have words for it. But to go back to my business and why I want to do business is just to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I made no money with that. Nothing. Didn't care. Didn't even want to take credit for it. I actually have a lot more people credit. But the journey and to be able to watch that was amazing.
It sounds to me like the work behind it is kind of the rewarding factor for you. Like the effort and everything you did and all the people you got to connect with and move this project along the way, like really kind of fed your soul is what it sounds like to me.
It did.
And I think it probably sounds like this to the listeners too, And so I think it's super awesome that you want to take that and teach other people how to do it. Because obviously you were successful at it. So if you're able to kind of harness that and kind of figure out, okay, well, what did I do really good here?
Yeah.
What did I kind of miss on a little bit? And then how can I make that better?
I
think that's a really forward thinking mindset to want to push out, and I think that's the game, man. Like that's why we're here. Right? Yeah,
man. I think I love watching it. You said something about TED Talks. I love those TED Talks too. Like I have people come on and talk about like how we do these things. I kind of want to do that too, but I don't want to do a TED Talk. I want to go and get embedded with a company and be like, hey, like I can see if I can use what my experiences are to help you get better and see how that really kind of plays out, But it's with all doing all that, right? It's a lot of work, So you still got the family and trying to. And I think it was really cool too. Is my son and my daughter my daughter was in town when all that happened, so they got to see that happen.
That's cool.
I thought that was super cool.
That's super cool.
And my daughter kept calling me. I forgot what she called me. These kids, man, they got all kinds of words nowadays. But basically, she was saying she was a daughter of a celebrity, and she kept joking about it, or whatever. But
you're like a mini Dana White.
Yeah, right. No, it was cool.
Early stages of
I don't want any of that guy's problems. But yeah, man, it's like there's so much stuff going on, right? It's like you do all this stuff all the time, and like how would your job, right? So what is your schedule like daily for you? Like how does a normal work week look for you?
Yeah, so me, man, I'm burning the candle at both ends, right? So I typically wake up between 3 and 3:30 in the morning, get to work about 4, and that's honestly it's by design. It's by design that way because the production starts at 6:30 in the morning. I get so much work done between 4 and 6:30 because it's just what I can do. It's just what I need to get done administratively, like planning the week, planning the day, troubleshooting anything that kind of happened over the weekend. So my day starts at 3:00 in the morning and then go to work. I'm at work from 4 to 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Leave work. Typically, I go straight to the gym.
Okay.
Straight to Logic.
Oh, you're straight to the Jiu-Jitsu gym?
Straight to gym. Yep.
Okay.
Straight to Logic. And I help teach the 4, 5, and 6-year-olds.
Okay.
And then again, I assist coach the advanced class.
Mm-hmm.
So the 4, 5, and 6-year-old starts at 4:30 to 5:20, and then the advanced class starts at 5:20 from 5:30 until
it was like 6:20.
I have this all messed up.
Yeah, no. Steve has a schedule like. I like Steve. Yeah. Steve he works that schedule like a magician, man. Like how he has like those 10-minute intervals between the classes. It's like perfectly married out. It's impressive.
Yeah. So 4:20 to 5:20, from 5:30 to 6:20 is the advanced class, and then I train 3 to 4 days a week, 6:30 to 7:38 at night. So
and your daughters are there.
My daughters are there. We're there usually a minimum of 3 days for sure, but. Recently it's been a little bit off just because they've been doing different things, volleyball camp and stuff, which I think is important. They've been training jiu-jitsu half their life. So
That's
we
awesome.
started each of them at 4. My oldest daughter is 10 now. My youngest daughter will turn 8 next Friday.
Awesome.
And so they've been in jiu-jitsu half their life. So it's a rigorous schedule, but it's something that we love. It's a family thing we do. We're there together. We're at the gym together. We're not necessarily spending that essential one-on-one time together, but we're in the same room doing the same thing, and they love to do it, and I love watching them do it, and I don't coach them. I don't. No. I stay away from it. I tried in the beginning to try to do it, and it didn't work out. But and I train. I'm there till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Go home.
Do it again.
I'm in bed by hard stop 9:30, and wake up, do it again, man. Like
what?
Just grind it out.
I didn't catch it, but I don't think I asked. But what do you? All right, so I know you're in charge at a factory, right, or a facility. So what exactly does it do? Would they fabricate or something?
So I spent a lot of my first years in food production.
Okay.
High volume food production. So recently, like I worked for a company that did all the McDonald's buns for the state of Washington.
Jesus.
So if you've eaten at a McDonald's in the state of Washington, the buns came out of the facility I was formerly with.
Okay.
We did about 1 million buns a day.
That's insane.
It was wild.
That's a lot of bread.
Yeah.
Not money. Not money bread.
Yeah. It's a lot of dough.
Yeah.
So I did that for quite a while. Worked there for 7 years. And then I transitioned. I was like, I'm done with food. I'm done wearing this stupid goofy beard net. I'm done wearing this stuff.
I need to think about that.
Working in like a 107-degree bakery. Like I'm just done with this nonsense. So I transitioned out of that into a manufacturing company. And what we do, it's called Red Dot. And we make heating and air conditioning units for off-road construction vehicles.
Okay.
Dump trucks, backhoes, bulldozers, those types of things. So we make the unit and then we sell it to Caterpillar or John Deere, whatever. And they take it out of our box on their assembly line and then put it on their vehicle.
Okay, so you're assembling the part that goes to the assembly line to assemble the machine.
Yep, and my responsibility is to make sure that all the machines that make the components that we need to make that unit run. Okay. So we make a lot of the stuff in-house. A lot of our stuff is American.
Is that like not 3D print, like the metal machines that lasers and things like that?
Lasers, presses, brakes. There's brake machines.
How'd you get into that? Is that something you went to trade school for, or
no? Man, I fell into it. So initially I went to did high school. I kind of worked like a construction job. We used to build these big things that were concrete grain dryers. I'm from the Midwest, right? So we built these grain dryer things. I was 16. I was like, I got that old man's like, you got to go to work.
Yeah.
Here's a job, So I worked just building these grain dryers for years. And so I built those, and then I got into that and got through that in high school. And then I was about to graduate. It was like my senior year with like 6 months left, man. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Joined the military, just continued to work at the job I was at. I had nothing. Like I just had no ambition. Like I wanted to work. I was making great money.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. Why would I change this? I'm making money. I'm making my bills. Like, why would I? Why? And my boss, I remember my boss came to me and he's like, you are too smart to stay in a small town. I grew up in a small town, man. Like, I graduated with 86 kids in my graduating class.
That's small. Yeah, I think I had 86 kids in my class.
Like,
so.
one stoplight town. That's not no joke. So he's like, you are too smart to stay in this town. Like, you got to go. You always have a job here if you need it, but you got to go. Kind of fumbled around. Ended up, was like, oh, well, I like guns. All right, well, I like helping people. So there was this law enforcement academy.
Yeah.
Out of Alexandria, Minnesota. It's the best in the state. So I was like, a 2-year program. I was like, oh, all right, let's try that. So applied, got in, got accepted, went there, did my 2 years there, got out, did the whole FTO process, realized this is not for me, not my game. This is just not. I loved the training. I loved all the stuff, but like at that age, I was just not able to like leave work at work. Like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it was going down a real dark path real quick.
Yeah.
And so changed gears, kind of did a bunch of random stuff. I've worked in construction. I've worked in logging, cutting.
Yeah.
I didn't get to cut the trees down, but I got yelled at by the guys to cut the trees down to like wrap the cable around the tree to make sure it got pulled up to the top of the mountain and did all that. And I was like, man, there's got to be a better way to make a living than just like out here sweating and just getting yelled at. So made some transitions. My dad ended up getting sick, had to move back home to Minnesota. My buddy was like, yo, you need a job. I got this maintenance job. I was like, well, what do you do? He's like, well, we just fix equipment that doesn't work. And I was like, all right, well, sure. Let's try that. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what a bearing was. I didn't know what a grease zerk was. I didn't know anything. And these guys, like, they were a bunch of old school dudes that were hard.
Yeah.
And if you mess something up, they'd throw a wrench at you kind of guys, But I learned a lot, man. So I guess I kind of came up through the ranks, just kind of learning by the school of hard knocks. And I figured out I was really good at troubleshooting.
Okay.
I was really good at figuring out problems. I was really good at knowing what the machine should be doing and then figuring out how to make it do that. So through all that, I just kind of came up through it. I took some training courses, just some basic electrical and things like that, but I never really went to school for it. I just kind of years of experience, I guess, and just natural talent. I mean, I wasn't a motorhead. I wasn't helping people rebuild motors and stuff in their garage, but I just had this way of like, oh, it should be doing this. What are the steps that I need to do to like make it do that? And if it's not doing that, how can I bypass it to make it do that? And just kind of figuring out that puzzle. Yeah. So it just kind of worked up through and then fell into leadership roles along the way.
Yeah,
I just kind of.
You became the old school hard knocks guys.
Yeah. Shoot. What is it? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's basically what I am.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually started like before I joined the Army. I was trying to do jiu-jitsu and be a professional fighter before I joined the Army, which didn't work out, obviously. And it's a very hard way to live. A lot of people think it's glorious. It's not. I worked on cars and like I say I was a mechanic, but I don't think I was like a mechanic. Like I had mechanic jobs, so I guess I had that title. But yeah, I changed oil and belts and I didn't put bearings and rods in cars.
You could change you could change tires, rotate them.
And, I can do brakes and stuff.
And oil,
I'm like middle of the road mechanic, and then I joined the Army. But it's funny you said about the law enforcement thing. So I'm a military police officer. It's like what my trade is in the Army. I don't do that I am a military police officer, but I'm in charge of military police officers. So I don't anywhere near doing that. But I remember when I worked the road, or we call it like working the beat, like being in a patrol car. I did it for 2.5 years. Yeah. Out of 21 years, I did it for 2.5 years. And I enjoyed it, but I do understand what you're saying. Like, you cannot let that job will go home with you.
Yeah.
It does. It never changes. It never stops.
Yeah.
And like, I tell people all the time, when you go into law enforcement, you have to be a servant leader, right? We talk about being a servant leader. You got to be a servant because you are never called because of good times.
You're right.
You are never called. You never get that radio call. They never call you on your cell phone because it's good. Right. And like, you have to be a strong person to be able to get through that.
Yeah, man. The men and women that do that job, I just most respect. It's a thankless, hard job. Period.
100%. It's funny because cops and like different law enforcement people are always come up to me, man, hey, thanks for your service. I knew you deployed, you've done these things, and people have been in the Army, we all kind of have that same background, but it's like they're thanking me, but I'm like, dude, I'm thanking you. Like, you do this every day. I have to train to go do this for a period of time, but every day you never know what you're walking into. That's insane.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. And I think about that. I think about law enforcement, firefighters, EMTs, like all those folks, like all that service, because like they're responding to society when it's at its worst.
Oh, 100%.
Like, and generally in a crisis.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's probably the most thankless job out there, I would say, but
super rewarding too.
Probably rewarding too, right? Like I can't speak to it because I didn't do it, but I can see why.
Yeah,
it could go down that path of rewarding for sure.
So how we know each other, what brings us together is Jiu-Jitsu, right? Yeah. Jiu-Jitsu has done a lot in my life. I get told I've been doing this a long time, so every time I meet somebody, it's about from Jiu-Jitsu. So kind of my question is like, what first pulled you into Jiu-Jitsu? Like, how did you find Jiu-Jitsu?
So I found it during law enforcement training. Okay. Mr. Childers was his name. And I graduated, I'm still tall and skinny right now. I graduated high school, like same height, but like 160, right? Okay. I was just tall, thin rail. And so I went into this program, and I think it was halfway through first semester, whatever it was. We started doing self-defense stuff, teaching self-defense. And Mr. Childers, he was a black belt. I think he trained under a Gracie. I don't know which one. At the time, I didn't know who it was. Like, I don't know what that name meant. I had no idea what that was. I had no idea what jiu-jitsu was. And we started showing just your basic mount armbar stuff. And I was like, yo, this stuff is cool. This is my game. I'm never going to be able to probably knock somebody out, but I need to be able to defend myself because I'm tiny. Like I'm tall, but I'm not that big.
Yeah.
So he started showing me jiu-jitsu, and as he started teaching that as our self-defense, like that was the core of what we were doing. And so I fell in love with it. I was like, this stuff is so cool. These dudes are in the, weight room, bench pressing, there's PR and just doing the thing. And we'd get out there and we'd start rolling around with our duty belts on and all this stuff. And I was just working them. Like they couldn't stop me. I kept moving, got to the top position, control, all that stuff. And I was like, this stuff is great. So that's when I was first introduced to it. So I was there, and I didn't really understand the impact that it was having, like how much I loved it at the time, because it was just like, oh, this is cool. I can beat the biggest, baddest dude in the room by just like sweeping them and getting on top,
Yeah.
So, life went on, did what young adult men do.
Yeah.
Make stupid decisions along the way. Kind of got away from it for a long time. It wasn't until we talked to, I got married. My wife's brother was super into jiu-jitsu, MMA, kind of combat sports. And it wasn't until we had our first daughter, we asked him, hey, if you were to get your daughter into one combat sport, what would it be? And without even hesitating, he said jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I trust this man. I trust this man with my life. And so I was like, all right, that's what we're going to do. And when I say that's what we're going to do, my wife was like, okay, let's do this. I was like, okay, cool. So we were out here at that time. We were in Washington, and she shopped around a couple different schools, and we landed at Logic and just really liked that program. So my daughter, man, she was like 3 and she was almost 4, like a couple months off.
Yeah.
And Steve was like, just bring her in, see how she does. We'll go from there. At the time I was working graveyard, so I couldn't train.
Yeah. And
so she started training. She trained for about a year, and I was there as much as I could be, especially in the afternoons. And I was just like itching to get back out there. Like I was like, this stuff is so cool. I just love everything about this. And if I'm being completely transparent, like at that time I was working graveyard. I was bored. I was drinking way too much.
Yeah.
Just having a rough time with life. Just, living on the opposite end of society is tough. And so I remember it was Halloween. I got super drunk like an idiot. And my mom and dad were in town visiting. And my mom could see I was struggling. She could see I was in kind of a dark place. I was in a rough spot. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Just not myself, not my normal self. And anyway, that all went down. And the next morning, I had some apologies to make. And my mom was like, look, I know you need an outlet other than that can.
Yeah, 100%.
You need something different. And so at the time, finances were tight. My schedule was weird. I couldn't quite afford it. My mom was like, I will pay for you for your first month, but you got to lock in, figure this out. And I've never looked back.
That's awesome.
I hit it and I was just like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what my calling is. This is God smacking me in the head saying, you big dumb idiot, you're about to lose it all. Everything you've worked so hard to overcome or not lose, you're about to lose it if you don't figure this out. And so once I had that realization, once I kind of like accepted that and submitted to that, it's just been all up. It's just been all downhill from there, man. Like awesome. I love it. Yeah. I love jiu-jitsu. I love the community. I love what we do. And that's how I refound it, you know, and I think that had I not gone through those struggles and had I not been in that place, I don't know that I would have ever really taken it as seriously as I do at this point. And I say seriously, I do take it seriously, but also I'm a hobbyist.
Yeah, we're all hobbyists.
Yeah.
We take it serious we can. Yeah. But I was talking to Megan about this when I had Megan on, right? We were talking about how when I first started jiu-jitsu, it was like self-defense. You know, I started under a guy named Miles Moffett who, like, our little lineage was Helson Gracie. We would see Helson and like, it was crazy, but it was always it was very self-defense oriented, like conversation. We started in like this old warehouse thing that this dude owned or whatever. Sure. But it was like we showed up and we learned self-defense stuff and then we all kind of went home and we traveled I went to a tournament, you know, things that back then tournaments weren't very fast, but I went to a couple tournaments. I was telling her, like, yeah, that's how it started, but now it's therapy now. And I told you that in the beginning, the therapy is like, you go to jiu-jitsu and like all of us have some type of background that's brought us here to be in a better place. Yep. And then we're also learning to jiu-jitsu. We're staying healthier. We're doing things. And I think, and I think the people that last in jiu-jitsu are the ones who have gone through struggles where jiu-jitsu is essentially like kind of saved them. Yeah. Something's brought them there to get saved. And it's like, then you got the people that quit and they're just like, oh, I quit. But it's like, I think sometime point they might come back.
I hope so. I mean, I hope they come back, and you hear it all the time. It's kind of a cliche thing like, oh, jiu-jitsu saved me, and in my life, jiu-jitsu did save me. Yeah. It saved me in a lot of ways. It saved me in a way of like, it gave me a purpose. Yeah. Other than just being a husband, being a father, it gave me something bigger, right? Like you can't do jiu-jitsu hungover. No, you probably can, but not at a very high level or a very decent level.
It sucks. Trust me.
So it's just like, it was like, okay, well, if I have X amount of beers, then I can't train tomorrow. Yep. And that's a problem. Yeah. So I want to train tomorrow, so I'm not going to do that thing. And so it really kind of curbed that for me. And it just really like helped me focus on the bigger picture of things. And so, and true, like in all of that, like we kind of talked about earlier, like having that realization kind of led me to like being even more involved in my faith. Yeah. Cause like, I think that there is a very, very linear parallel vibe with what jiu-jitsu journey looks like and your walk in faith looks like. There's so many parallels that happen all the time. That sense of community, that sense of faith and trusting that the moves are going to work, that sense of faith and trusting, the community's going to be there for you, and I think, Steve said it really well one time. I can't remember if it was an interview or what, but he basically said like, jiu-jitsu is for anybody, but it's not necessarily for everybody. Oh, yeah. And like, we're all coming here because we're drawn to it, whether that's the competition, the community, the therapy to like, you want to win, like whatever that is, like you come and do jiu-jitsu because you're drawn to it for a reason. And I think, honestly, for me, just looking at it as a whole, like a large picture, as humans, we're designed to be in community. Whatever that community looks like is different for everybody. Jiu-jitsu gives you that community. It gives you that family feel, that bigger family feel, right? Like there's people in the gym and almost everybody to me is their family. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what your past is. I don't care what that looks like for you. Your family to me. Yeah. And it's not just our gym. It's all the gyms. And I think you see that, like for the Rev, for example. Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're from Grapple Club, Isla, Journeyman, there's 100 other places to be from. Yeah. We're all there for one reason. Community. Yep. I think. And I think it really gives people a good toehold in that area of that community aspect. I think that's what most people are looking for. They're looking for that acceptance. They're looking for someone who's going to be patient with them, someone who's going to ask, hey, how are you doing today? I was MIA for a week the other week and, I was getting blown up. Hey man, how are you doing? Everything okay?
Yeah.
Morale check, you know.
I was
You
actually
doing
going to
okay?
message you
Yeah.
when I saw you. When I was like, dude, I
Yeah.
literally was just thinking where you were.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I noticed you hadn't been there for a little bit. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, where is he at?
Yeah. You know, and
Yeah.
life does what it does, but like that's what I'm saying is like I think people want that. People seek that out. And I think jiu-jitsu gives somebody that outlet to get that.
Yeah, you said that the sense of community, and the first thing I thought about was like, you got the guys who got the old car collections. They do like their Wednesday night, Thursday night car meets. You got
100%.
You got the guys who go to the gym, like
Yeah.
just lift at the gym. Like they have a gym community, right?
Yep.
Me and Jay, I work out at LA Fitness in the mornings, and I
Yeah.
see him. So now it's like a thing.
Yeah.
Like we get this little sign across the gym, and we always joke like, "I'll see you at the gym tomorrow, man. I'll
Yeah.
see you at the gym." And if I don't see him, I'll message like, "Hey, you good, man?"
That's accountability, right?
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
community and that accountability that I think we're all just innately just wired to have.
Now, I will say this: I've been around the world a lot. Been around a lot of jiu-jitsu schools all over the world, Germany, Florida, here and there. Florida has a very big community. Like that's why I love it down there. Like those schools are so family oriented. I love it. They're always looking out for you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on to stuff they've done for people.
Right.
Phenomenal. And I get that sense here at Logic too.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it. Like, no matter like it's so funny because we all have so much different backgrounds. We all do different things, but we all talk to each other. We all, message each other, go to the Rev. And then the Rev itself is like a reunion.
It's wild.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time too, like I'm going to Worlds. Worlds is fun. Like I'm going to Vegas and I've already gotten messages now and people are like, hey man, you going to Worlds yet? And then it's also, hey, is your wife coming? Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see her. Da, da, da. Like, so it's like family. And then, but for me, Pans is my family reunion.
Okay.
I love Pans. Every year I go to Pans, it's like I see people I have seen over the year, it's like we all come together in that one community.
Right. And you pick up like you just never miss a beat. Yeah.
100%, dude. Just hug and talk and maybe we grab some food and stuff. We're there to compete and win too. But like at the end of the day, it's like, man, the win is I get to see my friends and my family. And I love it.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it too, man. Like I've always been a big proponent of making, not necessarily making friends with folks in my bracket, but like, I mean, I've got friends in Alaska now because of it. I've got friends locally here and train out of different gyms because of it. And I think it's so cool. Like there's no, well, maybe there is, but I'm just biased. The fact that we can go out on the mat and try to kill each other and then shake each other's hand and have a beer afterwards is so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's just, I don't know of any other sport that can do that.
No, I don't either.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just, me neither. I go to jiu-jitsu and try to help people out and it's awesome. Like I love it.
I mean, I see the kids, like same for the kids, man. Like these kids, they sit there and they play before their match. They go out, they do their thing. They wrestle and try to submit each other. And then after it, it's like they're trading phone numbers and, trinkets. And it's just, to me, that's what it's mostly about is like those relationships and those bonds you're making in that community to like grow.
Oh, and it's the thing I've seen with it, and that I think that children will see too more now is like you're building this community and family, and it's going to be beneficial for those relationships you build when it comes in the future, right? Like when you become out there in the world and you're doing business and you're working in the trades and you're doing these things, like you're going to come across these people who are like, hey man, we've been doing jiu-jitsu together for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like that's going to mean something. Right? I know that guy. I know his family. Like, hey, they like, and I say that because jiu-jitsu is probably benefited my life more than I could ever imagine. Like, and it's not because I'm like going out there and, oh, I'm so great, because I'm not. I'm mediocre. But the thing is like what jiu-jitsu brings to the table and the people that I meet has given me opportunities that I don't think I'd ever have. Right.
For sure. I think it's great, and I think it teaches us how to do hard things.
Yeah.
It teaches us how to get through hard things. Same with the kids. That's what I love about being kids coach and, also coaching adults, man. I've seen some kids come in there that are scared of their own shadow. Like they won't look at you. They talk to the ground. They hide behind their parents. I mean, my youngest is a prime example of this. And man, you get them in there in that room, in that positive environment, in that place of community where they feel accepted and they feel like it's I don't want to say safe space, but
I get what you're saying.
It's safe, right? Like
nobody's going to hurt you because of what you are.
Within, I would say 3 to 6 weeks, they're walking in, they're jubilant, they're confident. They just have this different aura about them.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's so cool to see. My youngest, she was scared of everybody. Coaches that she'd see 4 or 5 days a week. She was terrified to talk to them. Looking at her now, you'd never know that. You'd never know that. So it's just this I think it helps, to your point. I think it helps build these life skills that you can carry with you off the mat.
Oh, 100%. Nothing's tough. I tell Megan, nothing's tougher than trying to defend yourself from getting choked out, no matter what you do.
That's true.
You're literally physically, mentally, like any feeling you have, that's happening while you're getting choked out, and you got to figure out that problem.
To your point is great, because like my girls, they've tried softball and soccer and volleyball, and they come off and they're super frustrated because they're not really good at it.
Yeah.
And I just look at them and go, you realize you do jiu-jitsu, right? Like, you realize you fight kids off that are trying to choke you out and break your arm.
Yeah.
This is volleyball.
Yeah, you're standing out here waiting for this ball to fly in here.
You're going to be fine.
So you do a podcast?
I do. So the idea behind the podcast, it's called Rolling in Faith BJJ. It's out there on Spotify. It's just this, like I kind of alluded to earlier, it's this idea of how your walk journey, however you want to coin it, in jiu-jitsu also correlates to a lot of your walk and your journey in faith.
Yeah.
So it just really tries to make those connections on how, probably, I guess the best way to put it would be, the jiu-jitsu community and the Christian community kind of intermingle with each other. I started the podcast because I just, like I said earlier, like I just really felt like God had kind of given me a calling, and I'm not trying to be an evangelicalist here and recruit a bunch of people to become Christians by any means, but I see these super, to me, ties. So I think that it stands to reason that people should maybe open up to the idea of, hey, I'm doing this thing in jiu-jitsu, and if you think about jiu-jitsu, like humbleness, gratitude, servantry, submission, there's all those things. All those things are the same things as what it's like to be a Christian, and it's not easy to be a Christian. It's actually very hard. And most days I'm really bad at it. Some days I'm okay at it. Most days I'm really bad at it. Same as my jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the premise, is just kind of trying to tie the two together. And maybe, if someone listens to it, they can say, oh, yeah, I kind of connect that. Maybe I should, kind of maybe start to explore my faith a little bit. And I've been successful with that.
Yeah,
so
good.
I've had people who are training in jiu-jitsu be like, hey man, I listened to your podcast. I drove past a church. I thought of you. I messaged you, and now they're coming to church with us.
That's great.
So I'm not saying that I was the reason why, but maybe I was the reason why they entertained that thought. So that's the premise of it. And it's not big, it's a few listeners, but those few listeners might grow, or it might just change them a little bit.
Yeah. And that, dude, one person changes. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like the guy on the side of the road flipping the sign, says, come in here, you got this, and then you go in there and you end up getting something great. Like, you just happen to be in the right place, right time. Yeah. And somebody just might be on the right Spotify channel at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then kind of doing their thing.
It's fun. And I think too, in a way, it's kind of therapeutic for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I roll these things around in my head, and for me, especially the way my podcast is structured, it's monologue, right? It's just me kind of talking into the mic. I've done a couple things where I've done one where I've interviewed another person, but it's literally just me sitting in my car with my phone on record. Yeah. And I don't do it all the time. It's more or less when like I feel the Holy Spirit kind of speak to me. Okay. That's like, hey, you should talk about this today in correlation with this. And then pray about it, think about it, and then I just cut the mic on and
let it go.
Let it rip.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This actually spawned for me. I thought about writing a book, and I was like, man, because one thing people always told me, they're like, dude, you have so many stories.
Yeah.
And like, I probably do. I could probably sit here and talk and do 50,000 episodes, but to me, I want to give people the opportunity to see other people's lives, because to me, like, my exciting moments are meeting those people in my life, because the military has let me meet you, let me meet Megan, let me meet, people down in Florida and things like that. So the idea for me with the podcast was kind of I want people to get the opportunity to see other things. So I didn't want to do a military podcast, because everybody's like, oh, you're doing a military podcast? No, I don't. I mean, I'll talk about the military. Right. But I'm not doing military. And like, oh, you're doing a jiu-jitsu podcast? Like, yeah, I could see everybody telling me I'm doing a jiu-jitsu podcast, but it's not really a jiu-jitsu podcast. It's a people podcast, right? I want to have conversations with people. Yeah.
And I think that's cool too. I think that's a really good platform to hit, because I feel like for me, just, in the 45 minutes, hour that we've spent, like, you're genuinely interested in what I have to say. You're genuinely interested in what other people have to say. And I think that's what makes for a good podcast, to be honest. I think if you aren't genuinely interested in a person or what they have to say or what they're researching or what they're talking about, it's like, why are we even doing this?
Well, facts.
It doesn't make any sense.
You got my head spinning over here, dude. You get the whole because I told you in the beginning of this, I haven't found my path. Like I haven't said I believe in God.
Yeah.
I believe in there's a higher spirit. I believe that we need to do good things by people and be a good person in the world. But I have not been able to say I have that walk.
Yeah.
Right. But you correlating jiu-jitsu with faith is making me think man, that's I could see that because I have a lot of friends that are very they found God.
Right.
They're doing their thing.
Yeah. And I think for everyone it's different.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you're already starting to put those things together just in our conversation here, that's progressing you to the next level.
That's cool.
It's moving you in a way that you haven't been moved before. So I can't tell you what that looks like. There's a lot of other seasoned Christians out there that could probably give you the formula to get to that next level. I will say that for me, I realized, and this is really hard for men to say, you have to submit to something higher.
Oh yeah.
That was a really hard thing. It's a daily thing for me. And so I think that the fact that you are having that head spinning motion, having that this is connected with this, that's exactly why I did the podcast, was for folks that are kind of I'm on the fence, I believe, but I don't necessarily know that I can live that way. And I think I'll say this, and I'll probably get some flack for it, but I'm going to say it anyway.
No, that's what it's about.
Yeah. I think that there's a very big misconception about Christians.
Okay.
I think that a lot of people who are kind of on the fence think oh, well, here's a rule book that I have to follow.
Okay.
Here's a book that has all these rules in it. And if I don't follow these rules, then I'm not a Christian. I would refute that and say, yes, there's rules that we should follow. There are things that we should be doing as humans and
absolutely.
as Christians. However, God cares more about your heart.
Okay.
He cares more about where your heart is aligned to him. He cares more about that your heart is aligned and focused on him and his teachings and what he has to offer than this book of rules. The book of rules is meant to keep us kind of in check, keep us in line. But it's not an end all be all, right? He wants your heart first.
That's awesome.
And
I think that's where
a lot of people get hung up.
100%. That's where I got hung up too.
Yeah.
It's funny you explain it, right? Because I want to be a good I am a good person, but I want to do good things for good people, and I want to always help. I'm always trying to help you out, right? But I've been a terrible person in my life. I'm willing to admit that. I was a terrible human being for a long time, and I've done things I'm not proud of. But in the human brain, it's man, am I forever stained for that?
No, you're not. You're forever forgiven for it.
That's awesome.
Without getting too preachy.
But it makes sense. Yeah, right.
You are.
So it's and I think people in my business and what I do, right, for in the Army, and people who have done even more things in the Army, we are it's tough.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool, man. That's awesome. Love that explanation of that. Yeah. And that's why I do these things, right? Because people in there are saying, I'm not going to be the only one out there that sees that, right? There's going to be somebody else out there.
If you have the question, there's a lot of other people that have the same questions. And like I said, don't get me wrong, man. A lot of the days I get it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the days I get it wrong. But the fact is I just do my best to emulate Christ and try to live his life. I'll never hit it because he's perfect in every way. If I can even get 1/8%. I'm winning, but
I mean, that's
I can only do what I can do.
If we weren't if we didn't start a conversation, we were talking about Christ, I'd be thinking you were talking about jiu-jitsu for a second, because you're never going to get it right, and you're never going to be perfect at it, but you're going to do the best you can do, and you're going to try every day.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I get this little segment I like to do, right? Yeah. It's called rapid fire.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say something, and I just need your first thing. It's pretty easy. It's not questions really. It's more it's kind of questions, but I'm just going to say something, and you say yes or no to one of them or what you'd say, right? Okay. So example, I say coffee or energy drink.
Coffee.
All right, sweet. Let's go. Gi or no gi?
Dang it. Gi.
All right, I love you. Gi.
I got to pick the gi. Man, I hated that stupid thing when I first started, but now I love it.
Oh, I love the gi. I'll stick by the gi for life. All right, favorite Bible verse?
Galatians 3:23. It is, I'm going to butcher this, but it's basically, paraphrasing it, is do your work every day as if you're working for the Lord, not as if you are working for other human masters.
Like that. That's awesome. Favorite submission?
Triangle.
I already know the answer you answered. It's not only a podcast, but early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Early bird. Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. Favorite book besides the Bible?
Favorite book besides the Bible? Yeah, Eaters Eat Last.
Eaters Eat Last, great book.
Leaders Eat Last, yeah.
Leaders Eat Last. All right. So most influential person in your life?
Man, there's so many. Honestly, off the top of my head, my wife.
Okay.
For sure. She's my rock. She is the most influential person in my life. She is a big reason why I got back into faith. She is a big reason why I continue to stay in that faith and just continue to try to be a better human every day.
Awesome. Yeah, my wife's is my favorite person. She's most influential for me. My favorite person, my wife, every day is striving to be better and works hard, and it's super motivating, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's great to be like that.
100% agree.
Favorite piece of advice you ever received?
This is an easy one. My favorite advice I've ever received was, you can do a million really great things. You can do 100 really good improvements. You can make the business run 1,000 times better. That one time you have a bad attitude with somebody, all those great things don't matter.
Yeah,
attitude is everything.
It is. Attitude is everything. I've heard that too. Like, do 1,000 great things and make one mistake. Everybody's going to remember the mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right. One word. I'm glad we talked about our wives. Actually, it's funny.
Yeah.
One word your wife would use to describe you.
Non-listener.
Non-listener. All men. All non-listeners. All right. Dream vacation.
Dream vacation. North Shore in Hawaii when pipeline is firing.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like surfing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I would say North Shore.
Okay.
Mid to late January, pipeline's firing.
You're born in Minnesota?
Born in Minnesota.
Born in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Surfing. Where did that connect?
That connected here in Washington.
Okay. I was where were we surfing?
My uncle taught me how to surf out in La Push, Washington.
Oh,
so
nice.
I fell in love with it out there. And
very cool.
I loosely follow it. I don't follow it nearly as much since, having kids, but yeah.
It's okay to have, I have little spur hobbies, I call them, like little things that I don't get addictively connected to, but I oh, dude, that's fun. I like to do it. I'm decent at it, All right. Awesome. All right. One thing every father should teach their children.
I think every father should teach their child patience and love.
Yeah.
Patience and love.
I love that. That's a good one. All right. One habit everyone should build.
Consistency.
Yeah.
I think if you can build a habit of being consistent, whether that's consistently hitting the gym, whether that's consistently showing patience, whether that's consistently showing love, consistency is key.
Yeah. I talked about that recently. Consistency is amazing. If you could have dinner with anyone from history besides Jesus, who would it be?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay.
For sure.
Why is that?
He did so many great things. I'm a hunter, so he did so many great things for the preservation of our lands that I would love to just sit down with him and just be like, how did you think of that? How did you think to preserve all this publicly, we are public landowners. We own a ton of public land. How did you have the foresight to think of that?
Yeah, he's responsible for most of the national forests, right? And national parks. Yeah, for sure. That's a good one. I wouldn't thought about that one. That was really good. Yeah, because that'd be an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, man. So those are your closing question. This is what I want to wrap this up here. Sure. So if someone's listening today and feels like they are falling as a husband or as a wife, as a parent, as a Christian, or just in life, what would you tell them?
I would just tell them, look, Jesus loves you. He's got a bigger plan for you than you could ever imagine. He knows your strengths. He knows your weaknesses. He knows your heart. He knows that you may be in a rough spot or a high spot or whatever that looks like. And if you're falling, you just need to lay it down to him. You need to lay it down, pray about it. That's the other thing, man. Prayer doesn't have to be this big, extravagant thing. It can just be something as simple as hey, God, I'm struggling with fill in the blank. Help me. I lay it down to you. That would be my biggest piece of advice to somebody, is just put it on him, because he already knows. He already knows that it's going to happen. He already knows the way, and it may not be your way. It may not be an instantaneous way. It may be a way of more struggle and maybe even more greatness. But if you're struggling, you really need to turn to him and really need to focus on that relationship and whatever that relationship looks like between you and him. That's a working document, right? It's a working thing that's continually being edited and changed and moved, and people are coming in and out, and he's giving you opportunities that you may not see as opportunities. At the end of the day, though, you need to lay it down to him and not on his feet.
That's awesome. I was reading a book out. It was talking about how we catastrophize problems, right? Problems are always going to be, they're the biggest, craziest thing to you, But if you could zoom out, then your problems in your neighborhood is you have probably the same problems the guy next to you has.
First world problems, man.
Yeah, first world problems, right? And then you zoom out even more and you realize like, oh, that's a speck. And I was reading this thing that said, if we get angry because you got something happen, right? Something bad happened, you're on a low spot, you're bad. It's like you get angry, sit and think, like, what's going to be the repercussions in 10 days? What's going to be in 10 months? Yeah. Is this going to matter in 10 years?
Yeah. It is. That's true, man. Like the repercussions you talk about, I think I did an episode recently about the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Good or bad. Sometimes our ripple effect is really good. You interact with somebody and it's a good thing and it ripples out. Sometimes you have a moment where you interact with somebody in a bad way. That ripples out. So repercussions, ripple effect, zooming out, those are all self-awareness things that are really hard to understand. And at the same time, they're so important to at least think about.
Yeah, that's good, man. So, hey, I appreciate you coming on, dude. Where can everybody find you? Like Instagram? Definitely shout out your podcast again.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Brandon Bailey 1. I think it's _3. That's my main one. I also have my Rolling in Faith BJJ Instagram post. I post on there usually when I drop an episode, but you can find me on Spotify. Again, Rolling in Faith BJJ.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming on, dude. It's been a great conversation.
Super fun. I appreciate you, Joe. Thanks so much.